How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. If you remember what I said in my video yesterday, we were looking for it to have some strength at the $17 area. And where we hit resistance was a well-known area that we knew about well before. Of course, if you're watching this channel, you would have knew about it already, so you wouldn't have been surprised when we hit resistance at that area. I will talk about it a little bit inside of this video and also give you guys my thoughts as far as what I'm looking for going into Friday. So just to remind you, if you're new to this channel, we do have timestamps down below inside the description because I do value your time. So we're going to take a look at the charts, we're going to take a look at the short interest, and then afterwards we'll go into the final thoughts. So let's get into those videos right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $16.49, being down 0.84%. On the low, it tested $16.34, and then on the high, testing $17.33. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 18.839 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 17.371 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, but we had a pullback in the stock. When we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you guys know what I'm about to say. Remember when I said if we break above $17, the next area where we could see some resistance is at $17.30. Where do we have our high today? At $17.33. So aside from Lucid getting the 17 bucks, which was the price target for this week, it was very interesting to see that it tested this level. Of course, we did end up having a pullback inside of the market, and that's why Lucid lost some momentum. But one thing that is clear though, we are maintaining to have our higher low and as well as our higher high pattern. And so far, this has been happening for 6 trading days. So are we going to have a continuation of this going into Friday? This is something we're going to have to wait and see about. But what I want to see from Lucid is being able, if it decides to break through this pattern that we have forming, to find support at the 21 EMA, which is at $16.28. It saw a low at $16.34, and since it closed at $16.50, it's very possible for us to hold this level. If we can't hold it, then of course we want to see strength right at 16 bucks and then see what it would do going into next week. As far as seeing a bullish move to the upside, yes, we did see 1733, but since we have pulled back, you want to see a break above 1689. We get that break above 1689, then we could see what Lucid could do when it goes back to that $17 range. So at least you guys know what it looks like to the upside, and as well as for the downside. Let's see what it does on Friday. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 59.85%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 5.23 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.6 million, updated 15 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 8.99%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 13th, it was at 60.20. And then for the close of the 14th, being at 59.85. So it's still up there. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float, being at 20.22%, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. So for my final thoughts for Lucid when it comes to the price action, I know I'm saying this over and over again, but I want you guys to know these key levels when I talk about them in my videos. So I said if Lucid breaks $17, then where it could see some resistance is at $17.30. Where did it see its high today? At $17.33. So I know a lot of traders were able to take advantage of this opportunity just by taking a look at those levels. So if you haven't done so already, then you better start taking your notes. I say this over and over again. But what the main important thing is, many people want to know, what do I see Lucid doing going into Friday? And you know what? That's going to be very dependent on the market conditions. We saw, especially towards the end of the day, SPY was selling off quite heavily, but it did show some support right at the 388 level. We talk about this daily inside of the Discord, so that's why we know as far as for market direction is concerned, where we want the stock
stocks that we're looking at to actually go. But aside from that, for Lucid, I want to see it getting back to $17. If it is unable to do this, then of course we want to see if it can continue to hold up $16. But one thing that is clear though, taking a look at the chart and seeing the pattern, we're continuing to have higher lows and as well as higher highs, and this has been happening consistently. So I'd want to see a higher low going into tomorrow and then seeing what Lucid would look like going into next week. We know we do have a Fed meeting. There's going to be a lot of volatility, and we also do have the quad witching that's going to be going down tomorrow, and if you're catching the video today of, on Friday. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that and know that the volatility is going to be there, and if you are inside of this play, please pay attention to the levels that I talk about when I'm going over the charts, okay? It is very important. I'm not trying to see you guys getting chopped up out there. But overall, it was great to see that Lucid hit our price target for this week. Even though it did pull back towards the end, I think that is perfectly fine. Let's see what it does going into tomorrow.